move ed programs agenda items at this time? Mrs. Seaborn has made the motion. Need a second?
Second.
Mr. Valentin has made the second. Any discussions, further discussions? Mrs. Mack.
I have a question, and it may be for our attorney, the actual court attorney, Mr. Rivera. Since we are a party to the Spectra, and I don't know the right word, the enjoiner suit or intervenor status, would it be appropriate for us to receive something from them at this time?
Mr. Rivera, could you help us with that?
There's no legal or conflict issue per se with taking the donation, but
can't hear you.
I'm sorry. There's no legal prohibition on taking the donation, but since you did file the intervenor action, the board may determine on its own whether or not it would seek to take this donation in. But there's no conflict per se to taking the donation because you filed an intervenor.
Thank you for that information. I just want to also clarify something. There was not a unanimous vote. I abstained on that issue. As I indicated previously, I'm on a panel in another municipality that is looking at this, and I think it would be inappropriate for me to vote on anything with them. So I'm abstaining. I'll be abstaining tonight also.
Dr. Epps.
To the board, may I suggest something, and maybe it'll be helpful? Can we, what's the number, 7? 7.05. Let's pull that at this more time, so I don't want any board member, because I don't agree with it either, and I'm sure that you don't agree with it. Let's pull that resolution and vote on the rest of it, pull up 7.05, because I have to tell you, whether it's a conflict or whether it's not a conflict, I don't think we need the money, and we don't need to inspect it.
Dr. Epps made a suggestion. I will ask if anybody has a problem with that, please come forward and say it right now.
To the chair.
No, Mr. Valentin.
Why don't we just vote it down? That sends a message.
Well, that's why I'm asking. If you have a problem with that, you got to speak up, and you may want to vote it down rather than pull it.
If we pull, then it won't come up again.
If it's pulled, then we can't vote it. Dr. Epps said wants to pull it.
I'm not tabling it, I'm pulling it.
So it means we'll never see it again.
I'm making a recommendation to that, but that's what I'm doing.
All right, board members, you clear on that? So now, Ms. Seaborn, will you still make the motion for 7.02 to 7.12, leaving out 7.05? You'll still make that motion?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Valentin, you'll still second that motion?
I'll second.
All right, so any further, so now, as of now, 7.05, Dr. Epps is pulled. Not tabled, but pulled. Any discussion on the other items? Ms. Seaborn?
Just some very brief comments. On 7.03,
03?
I just hope that this time next year, I am going to see an item for a civil rights study tour where we are accepting the donations for this time next year. For 7.09, I'm going to vote on this item, but I did speak to someone in the Office of Programs and Services requesting additional information, and because I'm going to vote on this item, it does not mean that and I didn't ask them to rush the information to me, but I would still like to receive that information.
Fine. Any other questions or comments to this? 7. Ms. Lester.
On item 7.07.
07?
Yeah, I just had a general question about funding available for McNair. And Dr. Epps, maybe you can help me with this.
Yes, what's the question?
Oh, the students pay for this? Oh, okay.
No cost to the district.
No cost to the district, the students pay for that.
All right, thank you. I didn't see the
Any other question from any board members? Ms. Simmons, please call the roll.
Mr. Connors?
Aye.
Ms. Lester?
Yes.
Ms. Seaborn?
Yes.
Dr. Thompson? Mr. Valentin?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
So long as we never entertain the thought of Spectra, any donations ever again. Yes.
Vice President Mack?
Yes.
President DeRosa?
Yes. Board members, any questions on facilities, affirmative action, personnel, or conferences at this time? And I want to move that Dr. Epps has invited, what school is that?
The school 41, I have
School
just 2 more
41.
items, and I just want to...
We cut short the superintendent's report, and with the commission board members, I'm going to go back to Dr. Epps. So the only thing left now, we have public speakers, but before we go to the public speakers, we're going to have Dr. Epps introduce school, so for, which we fast nor early.
I think that the public and the board would be very pleased